If you love candy, this is your kind of weekend. According to the Candy Industries Association, Halloween candy sales will total $2.6 billion this year. Chocolate tops the list of favorite treats. You can see candy corn, chewy candy, and gummies follow. We're joined now by Candyman Todd Siwak, CEO of Ferrara Candy, the name behind the brands like LemonHead and Now and Later. Nice to see you here.
You too. Thank you for having me.
I love this time of year.
I love this time of year. It's hard not to.
What do your sales look like typically this time of year compared to the rest of the year? And what have you been trending over the last couple of years?
So, of course, this is a great time of year to talk about candy. About 26–27% of the candy consumption transpires between August and November, toward the end of Halloween. We really lead and drive the non-chocolate category, so that's our focus. We have about a 25% share in those markets, and it's dominated by shared candy, candy corn, which is a large consumption item, and we are the leader with our Brach brand in that segment. If we step back from Halloween, which is a great time for consumption, and really look at the total trends driving the category, it's really the trend around Gummy Bears, gummy candy, chewy candy, sour candy, hot and sweet candy. So a variety of sensory experiences that we're providing to the consumers are really resonating with them in the non-chocolate sector.
I want to take a look at some of your brands, and we're going to put up a chart that pretty much has every brand in there that you make. I mentioned LemonHeads, there's Boston Baked Beans, there's Chuckles. Now, your company's been around for a long time. Of the brands here, have any of those been around since the beginning in 1908?
Well, some of them. You named some of them.
Chuckles, I figured,
predominantly has been around, and it's infamous. And it's actually an iconic brand that's growing again today for us. And I think that's part and parcel to the growth trend in and around gummy and chewy.
Why is that growth trend existing? Is it because the palate is expanding? We know that people eat more spicy foods than they did decades ago.
I would say it's really a matter of demography. So what we're experiencing is growth in those sectors that's supported by a millennial and Gen Z consumer, also a multicultural consumer who have taste preferences around that type of sensory experience. They seek variety, they seek different form factors, different textures, different intensities of the flavor experience. And so Trolli, which is also on the screen, is a brand that's really for us leading our growth, double-digit, close to 20% growth. We're focused there predominantly on a sour experience, but also a weirdly awesome experience that resonates with that consumer.
Weirdly awesome. All right, I want to ask you a little bit about competition. You mentioned you're the leader in some categories. What do you do in terms of balancing competition and costs? I saw that sugar costs have been rising for the past 2 months. Now, I'm sure you hedge some of that out on the commodity side. But let's face it, candy is inexpensive, right? It's still relatively inexpensive to get a piece of candy. So what happens to you on the profit margin side with rising costs, maybe trying to fend off some competition, have to spend a little bit more on marketing, and the costs that you can't control? So what is it doing internally with some of your numbers?
Well, there are a couple of components, Rhonda. The first is that we are the largest manufacturer of non-chocolate confection items in the United States. We focus really on not only being the largest, but the low-cost producer with the highest possible quality. We've invested over $100 million in our facilities over the last 2 years, and we plan on continuing to invest at those record levels to ensure that we're automating our facilities to maintain that low-cost advantage. Secondarily, and you mentioned it before, we also attempt, like many of the larger players in the space, to provide or assume a very thoughtful approach to acquiring commodities. So sugar, corn syrup, we're really focused on buying those forward and focused on buying them in the most effective way. At the end of the day, and you said it, about 90% of the product, our products, sell for $3.50 or below. So it's imperative that we're providing the strongest possible price value proposition to our customer and the consumer.
And what do you hand out on Halloween?
We hand out Trolli, which is my favorite candy.
Todd Siwak, great talking to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.